Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you ever been to Six Flags Magic Mountain? You know, that one theme park with all the roller coasters in California? Yeah, that one. Do you remember their parking lot? Do you remember waiting for a bus? Do you remember getting off that bus and thinking, wow, I waited a long time for that bus? What about walking? Have you ever walked from the parking lot to the front entrance? Do you remember getting to the front entrance and thinking to yourself, man, I am tired? What if I told you you never had to do that again? What if I told you that Six Flags could build a whole new parking lot that is right next to the entrance and only a few feet away? Now, before I start this out, I just want to say, if anybody that is watching this knows anybody higher up in Six Flags, can you please suggest this video to them? Can you somehow find a way to get them to watch this video? Because I think this is something that the general public, I think anyone that has been to Six Flags Magic Mountain would agree with me 100% that the distance that you have to walk from the parking lot to the front entrance is absolutely tiring. Even though you have buses, we have to wait for a long time. And 9 times out of 10, that bus is extremely packed with people. Sometimes the buses are dirty on top of that. Six Flags, this solution not only helps the general public and we don't have to do that walk anymore, but guess what? It also saves you money. That's right, Six Flags, saves you money. If I did not have your attention before, I have your attention now. Saves money. Yes, here's the whole idea laid out. Now, what is the first thing that you see when you are driving to Six Flags Magic Mountain? The first thing you do is stop at the toll booth. That's right, because you gotta either pay to get in or show them your pass to proceed to the parking lot. Now, this is the general area where the concept happens. If you have ever been there, you look to the right of that area, you will see a huge open lot. That lot is only a few feet away. I'm gonna say a couple of hundred at most. Now, imagine if you built a parking structure in that lot. Can you visualize it? No? Okay, well here is what it would look like. Now you might be saying, okay, if you put the parking lot there, how will the people get across? Now, imagine above that Six Flags sign where the toll booths are, you have a bridge. Yes, a bridge. This does 2 things. 1, it avoids going into traffic. 2, it is also a safety precaution for families with kids, so there is no chance of anyone getting hit by a car. Here you can see an overview of Six Flags Magic Mountain. To the right, you have their old parking lot. Down at the bottom, you have the new area for the parking lot. Right there is the entrance to the park. And I'm going to show you exactly the length difference. If you notice in this first picture, marked in green, I have the distance it takes from the end of the parking lot to the front entrance. Do you see how long that line is? Can you imagine how long that walk is? And if you have been to Six Flags Magic Mountain, you know exactly what I am talking about. It is a long walk, especially on a hot summer day. Nobody enjoys doing that walk, and nobody likes waiting for a bus, especially when it is packed with people. Now, this next picture I'm going to show you is the distance between the new parking lot and the front entrance. Do you see the significant difference? Do you see how close that is? And you got to think to yourself, why did Six Flags design their parking lot like this? They actually did not. Six Flags Magic Mountain's parking lot used to be where Hurricane Harbor is now. They didn't build Hurricane Harbor until 1994. That used to be their old parking lot. Can you imagine the people back then, how easy it was for them from the parking lot to the front entrance? They can still do this because this new parking lot is a lot of land. Not only do they solve the problem of short distance walking for their guests, but here's the best part. No more buses. That's right. That's where Six Flags saves money. No more buses. You do not have to pay for running buses anymore. I can only imagine what their fuel cost is, or even if they're running it on hybrid, okay? If they're running it on energy, solar, whatever, they still pay for maintenance. They still pay for people to drive the bus. Imagine the savings if they build this new parking structure. And not only that, imagine the new capacity it can hold if they build a new parking structure compared to the old style parking lot. The old style parking lot is just a flat parking lot. This new structure is double-deckered, built on top of itself. Imagine how many more cars they could fit. Not only will they have the new parking lot, save money on the buses, but guess what? That also frees up real estate for the park. That's right, that whole old parking lot could be new construction area for more park. Six Flags can build so much on that land. Let's look at the concept one more time. As you can see here, I did a pretty good photo edit of what I've envisioned in my head of what it would look like. As you can see, these parking structures are also found at Disneyland, Universal Studios. The only other place that has the same style parking lot as Six Flags is Knott's Berry Farm. But imagine this, just look at the rendering that I've done. Imagine this parking lot. Imagine the bridge going across. That distance, that walk distance is absolutely nothing. I hope that Six Flags sees this video and takes this idea and runs with it, because I've predicted a lot of things that Six Flags has actually done in their park. I remember one day, probably back, I think it was 2009 or 10, I was sitting on a bench in a smoking area looking up at Superman thinking, man, one day they should build a drop ride off the side of Superman. That would be amazing. And what ended up happening? They ended up building Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom. I predicted that years before that ride even came out. I could just see the next steps that Six Flags can take to make their park even better. And this is definitely needed. I am 100% sure on this, that nobody likes that parking lot the way it is. The distance to walk to and from the parking lot is ridiculous. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think this is a great idea? Do you think Six Flags should do this? And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you know somebody in the Six Flags Corporation that you can hand this video to and give them this idea, please do it. Please let them see this, because this is something I actually really would love to see happen. Thank you, Roller Coaster fam, for watching. I appreciate all the support, all the subscribers, the likes, the shares. Please share this video, get it around. And that's it. Peace. Also, one last thing before I go. I will also be doing a video of my prediction for Six Flags Magic Mountain 2020. So stay tuned for my next video. Six Flags Magic Mountain 2020. What will I be predicting? And will it happen?